Corey Thompson here, Roughneck Real Estate Guys. We're out here just trying to help the working men of this country. We're going to exclude women from that conversation just to make Spoon mad. Figure out how to take the money they earn with these two hands and park it in cash flow in real estate. This is a Different Generations podcast. We need you to hit the subscribe button, like it, turn on the bell. Braxton Harrison here. Jason Witherspoon. Braxton's got something he wants to tell us.
Yeah. Just thought it was worth bringing up. I'm part of the 1% of mankind now.
That's right, folks. He's rich, and he's happy to brag about it.
Ooh, rich white male.
Yeah. So I guess rich white male that completed a marathon this weekend, so I'm like an even smaller demographic.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How's it feel?
I wonder how many levels we got to break through to you're just one of 7 billion.
I like how Spoon hijacks your question.
I don't, yeah, like that. I mean, okay. We can get there if you want.
How does it feel to complete a marathon?
It was a weird experience.
Time out. Spoon, this is his question.
I didn't say anything.
Do you want to answer it for him?
Do you want to answer it for him?
Or do you want a counter question?
Yeah.
I do, but I'm not going to. Go.
I'll be honest. It was going into it, I kind of thought like, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. And honestly, it probably isn't. But to me, it was.
You trained, though, until you broke your foot. Now, there's an app out there. What's it called?
Strava.
And you got DJ on the app.
Yeah.
And it's like for people that run.
Yeah.
I don't know why you got DJ
well,
on there.
it's also just for workouts if you want.
Okay.
So you can just post your workout. People can, say, hey, good job, or like it or whatever. Or you can just, like me, get in there and talk trash.
So it's a social media app for people that work out.
Yeah.
You added DJ.
Got him on there.
And your family.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing I saw you post was some just nonsensical,
overly cringy, like
rant at your family.
I'm out. Well, I've got a bunch of friends out there too, but it's like overly, try to make it overly cringe. Like, yeah, I know it's like 11 o'clock at night, but I'm out here doing the work while y'all are all asleep.
Yeah,
Just reminding everyone.
And then you broke your foot.
I stop posting as much. Stop running.
That's good.
Uh-huh.
All right, so nice little, you got it done.
Yeah.
Fam showed up for support.
Are they out there watching?
So by the family, we mean Brian, father, Pam, mother, Abby, sister, all there for 6 hours. They were there when you started and there when you finished.
They showed up. I was about 3 hours in.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
And then therefore you finished.
Yep.
Did they go like eat cheese sticks like at the local diner or something?
I don't know what they did. Like they showed up. Abby got out, ran with me, and then like we'd see them every once in a while. That was kind of it. Like it was just like it's just chilling.
What would you have done while Braxton was running a marathon? This is the awkward pause that we told Spoon to do last week.
Well, it's a theater thing, I think. Like it adds like a little dramatic effect when he finally
I think I'm
answers.
just going to let Braxton answer for me today.
I'll go ahead and let you have this one.
Go ahead.
What? All right. Bigger question is like I don't know that when Biggie Biggs is 19 and he's like, I'm going to run my first marathon. I don't know if I'm there. I don't know that I show up. I know baby mama will be there, but I'll be like, what's he doing? Like,
I don't know that you need to be there. Like how I look at that, like it was a selfish thing that I did. Like I wasn't out there for showing off or anything. Like if everyone in the world did a marathon, it would still mean the same thing to me. You know what I mean? So it's like I did something hard. That's why I wanted to do it, to push myself. Family's there. The family's there.
Yeah, but I
appreciate it, but it's like
dude,
not there for me.
I know, but I'm so happy that your family was there. Spoon, are you going to be there? You got 4 kids. So, like, I feel like the younger kids, I know Jasper gets, like, gypped on all kinds of experiences with me because I'm just like, no, I've already done that. I'm not doing it again. You know, just not. Do you think your younger kids suffer from the bad experiences you had doing things with the older ones? Not because of the kids, just because of the experience itself.
You're still on this?
On what?
Or are you going to answer?
I feel like I just ride this out today. Just the whole podcast. Just awkwardly staring.
Well,
and just knowing that he's reminiscing about our conversation this morning.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
It was weird.
Y'all had a weird conversation.
So weird, dude. So weird. Out of the blue, I'm like, bro, why did you make this weird?
Whoa, okay. You equally took that route. Like,
it's a nice segue.
I definitely took something and ran with it, but I didn't.
Yeah, you ran hard.
I didn't start,
it was a banner. Like he was running, parade runner, right in the front. Flag.
But at the same time, like I didn't make the turn. Like he made the turn, and then I'm like, oh, we're mashing on it now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Got a little gay, huh?
I don't know about that.
A little. That might be understating it.
Got a little Western on that phone call this morning. And it was only about 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, I was like, hey, I'm going to get off the phone now. Do you know how hard it is to get me off the phone in an awkward manner?
Were you hard when you got off the phone?
Oh, well, not in that sense.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if I was on the phone with Braxton, he started talking provocatively.
He gets in there.
I don't know that I get in there, but I'm not going to get off the phone because then I know he's going to accuse me of rubbing one out. And
oh, well,
that's. I mean, now that
ironically enough. Anyways, so back to the question: are you going to be? Do you think sometimes your younger kids miss out on experiences because you've already done it with the older ones?
I don't think so. I think I'm the one that missed out on experiences with the older ones because I was in North Dakota or I was in Louisiana. I missed so much of the first two kids' lives. Like the first hospital trip my wife had to take, I wasn't there for, for the kid. And like all those things that you want to be there for as a dad. And because of real estate, I've been lucky enough with the two young ones to be there for a ton more.
We're not talking about that stuff, Spoonie. You just made it all sad. We're
I wasn't
talking
trying to
about
make it sad.
all right, so like, for instance.
Is the over-under that my high blood pressure kills me earlier than it should be? I mean, maybe. Like I may not be there literally. Or are you just talking about like...
No, we're talking about...
Like, are you going to go back out to Big Bend with Jasper now and go walk around the desert?
Well, I might, but I won't. He won't be 4 when I do it. Like, because Emery don't remember that, so she has no concept that even happened.
It's like taking kids to Disney World at 3.
But
they don't remember it.
What I won't do is take Big into a splash pad.
Yeah. Oh, I love splash pads.
In the worst part of town.
Oh yeah.
And me and Big, we're not gonna go splash padding. We're not just gonna, like, I went and did it. Like, it was fun with Emery. She enjoyed it, but it was terrifying for me. Yeah. And I didn't quite have it all down. And she was getting run over by the bigger kids and all that. And it was a bad experience for me. I think she loved it, but I know that she didn't remember it because she's 2. She has no idea that day took place. And every time we went back, it was nerve-wracking every single time. Like, one of these older kids is going to sprint into her head with their knee, and I'm going to be doing stitches, or I'm going to get arrested for beating up a 12-year-old, you know what I mean, for running over my 2-year-old.
A mouthy one? I get it.
Yeah, it's like...
Why are you so mouthy? You're 12. It's weird.
I mean, it was just a lot going on there, and I'm like, I don't need to go do that with Biggins because overall, he won't know the difference if there's a splash pad in his life or not. So,
or a Lake Limestone.
I think my little ones are much... They're much better off in that way because the 2 big ones look out for them when we're at those events. Like when we're at the splash pad now, the 2 big ones are taking care of them. So,
but you're there.
Yeah, but it's a lot less stressful for me. I'm just like, oh no, he's got it. Like it's way less stressful. With yours, like just one of them trying to run around, like it's hard.
Well, and me being solo too.
Yeah, that's what I'm agreeing with all that. Like you have a different situation than I do.
I think dads with wives included in the mix really have they just don't know. Like I like old Biggins' mom's around. I mean, I don't do diapers. You
just hose him off and like let him run around naked?
I'm like, you do that diaper. You know why I don't do diapers? Because I did 100% of diapers for a long time. Now I don't do them. I'm like, when I have them, when I'm 100% responsible for the diaper, I do the diaper. But if there's a 50% responsibility for the diapers, it may as well be 100% for the opposition. That's just me. Now you, on the other hand,
I've never minded doing diapers. I got a cousin, he won't touch one. Never with any of his kids.
no, it don't bother me to do the diaper. Then there's no, I don't have, I'm not.
But my wife has done a lot more than me. Tons more.
I'll wipe your shit off with this bare hand. That's how little I give about human feces on me. You know what I mean? I've paid good money to have human feces on me. In a weird way.
No, don't roll over that. Go ahead and talk about that.
We're talking about kids right now. So, what I'm saying is, it don't bother me. But
I understand.
I'm like, I can get out of this, so I'm lazy. So I'm gonna be lazy.
The Converse thing happened in our house. Like, I'd come home. Megan's been with 2 babies all day. She's like, "That's all you. I don't want to change another diaper till you leave tomorrow morning."
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
I never have that. I'm like,
You can settle down, marry the right girl.
no, I'm just saying. Like, I mean, it's just whatever. I mean, it doesn't bother me, but no. So your family showed up. I don't know. I mean, Biggins, maybe if he's running a marathon, first one, maybe, but it's hard to say because I do want to be there for everyone at Emory softball games, even though, like, it's going to be just like Big Ben. She's not going to remember most of it, but
Like, I do remember, like, tennis tournaments and stuff like that. My parents always being there.
Yeah.
Always appreciated that.
yeah,
You know.
and when you're in Little League, like whenever a bunch of people show up,
Mm-hmm.
like it is real cool. Like when we were doing the R2R retreat and we had the whole squad going to Emory's, like that was pretty funny.
It stands out. You remember, like, oh my,
Yeah,
especially when it's
I
like
had 10 grown men in the audience.
Yeah.
Like having a time, but then Emory hit one of them over the head with a keyboard. That was a little awkward.
She gets a little rough some days.
Yeah, it was just,
Like, she punched me the last baseball game we're at. I'm like, let's not do that today, Henry. Like, why'd you just punch me?
wait.
Did you
What'd
hit
you
back?
do to Emory?
I don't know. I was just sitting there eating. She walked up and punched me. I'm like, got my arm all jacked up. I'm like, I don't want to do this today, Emory.
hit
Go
her
punch
back?
somebody else. No, it's not my kid. Like,
Oh, at the Rangers game.
yeah, the Rangers.
I
game.
thought you were talking about at one of her softball
No, I was
games.
just minding my business there, all on drugged up and with my arm in a sling, and she came up and punched me for no reason.
I don't mean like hit her back in a disciplinary manner, like a self-defense.
Like punch her.
Yeah.
You're saying just like crack. No, she's a tiny person.
I'm
That
just
would be a
curious.
terrible
I'm not
thing.
saying it was a good or a bad idea. I'm just asking if you did or not.
Today's her birthday, and I'm just happy to find out she finally let them hands go.
Yeah, she smoked
9
me.
years old.
How it's like your birthday. You just got a present.
Yeah, like I'm like she went up against. How tall are you?
6'3",
What do you weigh?
270.
She just let them fucking hands go
Yeah,
right in there.
She just like, and it wasn't like soft. Like, why are you doing this?
It's because she chose violence that day. She knew you were a
But
bitch.
for no reason. For no reason. I'm just sitting there eating my ice cream or whatever.
She-
Joe Biden my way through
You know what
the
they say,
game.
big dogs got to
Yeah,
eat.
Yeah, she knew you were a bitch, and if she let them hands
She
go,
just
there
took
were-
it out on me.
she's like, he ain't gonna do
The
nothing.
only way I could have proved to not be a bitch was to punch your kid in the
That's
face.
right. Look, she don't do that to me.
Life's
She don't do that
cool,
to me.
man.
Do you punch her back? Like when she hits you, you just like smoke her, just
Look,
right in the chops.
Look. Me and Emory, we box. You know, sometimes she thinks it's shadow boxing and it's really real boxing. That's unfortunate for her, but you know, she gotta keep that head moving. When you take the taekwondos or whatever,
Work on your slips.
yeah,
your
you gotta
head
keep
movements, everything.
gotta keep your head moving. Gotta get your hands,
Hands up. On the
She-
phone if they're going for that hook.
Yeah, my daughter knows all this. You know how she knows it? Because she's messed up and not kept that head moving. No, I'm playing. She's fine. I think it is funny that she did walk up and sucker punch you, though, of all people. The nicest guy in the room.
Like, it was really weird. I was just like, I don't want to do this, Emory. Go find somebody
The
else.
nicest dude in the room gets punched by my daughter. There's something there. I don't know. She ever punched you?
She's hit me before, yeah.
Yeah, but you're closer to her age. You know what I mean? She probably. Have I told y'all this? She has twins in her class, twin boys. There's twin girls and twin boys.
It's a lot of them now.
Yeah. Do you know what the twin boys' names are?
Herkel and Merkel.
Isn't one of them Braxton?
Braxton and Jason.
Oh, that's funny. That's why she's always writing like Braxton is poopy on the board. Is it the kids in her class, or is she talking about him?
No, she's talking about him.
Probably me.
You know, she wrote Jason up there too the other day. It was like Braxton and Jay, but it was like a weird context. I had no idea because I hadn't seen her.
Yeah, she comes in. You know, when we go to the office, she's got I'll let y'all know that she was there. So she wrote me and
Just asserting
she
her
wrote me and
authority.
Braxton were hella
Braxton and
stupid.
Daddy are crazy stupid or whatever.
Crazy stupid.
She just comes in and basically pees on it. You know, she's asserting her authority, letting us know that she owns that board.
Well,
That's a weird analogy.
Well,
got a little funky. We're talking about 9-year-old peeing on things. You know what I
well,
mean?
didn't
Like,
bring
wait,
up the age. I'm just saying, like, that's what
Like
marking her territory.
So how much?
what?
How much have you paid for that experience you talked about earlier?
Oh yeah. Well, you know.
I'm just.
More importantly, where was
You
it?
don't have to
was
go
this
into
in
it.
like,
Just like dollar amount. What is? What have you?
Was this at like Boys Town in Acuna or like
No,
classic
no.
place in
Jack
Las
Shack.
Vegas?
No, this
Olive Garden last week.
is on to something. This is, I mean, yeah, this is weird that
Started
y'all
out as
corner-
classy as it could be.
we
We
can go
went to the
high-low.
Olive Garden, got them
Yeah,
endless
Over or under
breadsticks.
$50.
Yeah, y'all making fun of me for
Nobody's making fun of me.
I'm
He's
just.
trying to live through you vicariously.
I'm just curious.
Look, all it was a hot fudge sundae. You know what I mean? On a Tuesday, and it cost about $20.
The old
Okay,
rusty trombone.
Yeah,
interesting.
I mean,
I don't
It's not
even know
even-
anymore.
it's not even that big deal.
Braxton just deflated over there.
Braxton, do you know you don't go to a lot of Urban Dictionary? Okay, well, I don't know if we need to get into it, but
I don't.
I feel like we could open up his world to some stuff because we've taught him so much.
I mean, like,
A lot of
like
terms.
everything that comes, every single thing you could ever think of in your entire life, if you put it in the Urban Dictionary, you will learn something different about the world.
Oh, for sure.
It will-
Even just people's names. Like I guarantee if you type in Braxton on Urban Dictionary, there is a definition of the phenotype of Braxton.
Yeah, it can get real weird on there. Now,
Where to go?
He's on his way, like right now.
he's gonna pull it up.
I'm gonna bet that Sohill's not on there. That's a unique name.
The craziest one that we used to mess around with. There was a website called Text from Last Night.
I thought you were gonna say meat spin.
Have you ever heard of Text from
Is
Last
that
Night?
what that bricked up your phone?
Meat spin? Meat spin wouldn't break up your phone.
Makes it
A
run better.
gorgeous, compassionate boy who
Loves with all he can give. That's so weird. Why would he is a wonderful lover that did you write this yourself?
Oh, no,
it seems like
smirk.
Braxton wrote this.
Look at his smirk.
And then it says, Braxton, I love you. So apparently Lover Girl 0894 has a crush on a Braxton, possibly you.
might need to find her, even though that you were 10 whenever she fell in love with you. You know what I mean? So it's a little strange. That was written in November of 2013.
Yeah. That's
Weird.
oh, that one was
There we
appropriate.
go. Jason is a sarcastic person. But when you get to know him, he will joke around with you. He is a hopeless romantic that dreads being alone.
True.
He calls the women he loves beautiful, not hot. He sure makes the lucky girl he has in his life okay at all times.
That was written by not Jason. I feel like Jason actually wrote that.
He tries to be a good guy to everyone and is always trying to clear his past.
That's all true.
Dang. Spoon. A spoon is an imaginary unit of energy used by people
not
with
know
illness
that.
and
That's
disabilities. These people use spoons to describe daily activities with a limited source of energy. The spoon theory was developed by Christine whoever, a woman with lupus, to describe the units of energy to her friend. She gave her friend a handful and asked her friend to list her morning routine.
Well, that's weird.
As each activity was said, a spoon was removed from the handful. For example, to get out of bed costs 1 spoon, and getting dressed, showered costs 2 or 3. I didn't have enough spoons to do the dishes and shower before bed. Not enough spoons.
I'm never going to forget this. What the
Yeah, that's.
Let's look up Corey.
You don't want to look up Corey.
Well, I want to see if it assumes you're a girl or a boy, because that's one of those names that
A
could
Corey
go
is the type of person who can always make you laugh, but yet make you wonder why you're even laughing. Corys are males who are amazingly smart and attractive, but not cocky about
This
it.
is
Corey is a
inaccurate.
guy who you can stand near and be insanely happy because you're close to him. Corys are also great friends and lovers. Corys know no limits and live life to the fullest. Corys put God first. A Corey is the utmost amazing guy on earth, so sweet, kind, funny, hot, smart, trustworthy, honest, and genuine person. Anyone who has a Corey in their life are so lucky, better never let them go. Oh, they are also great kissers and have freaking hot body. Yes.
So
Corys
does
are
on the
not
right.
fighters, but they will fight for what they love.
I feel like there's a lot of inaccuracies in this one.
Look, girl 1, gosh, I had the best time last night on my date. He was God's gift to earth. Girl 2, let me guess, you got a Corey?
That's probably the most accurate thing on
Written
there.
by Corey.
There you go, Spoon. So, now the weirdest thing I've ever...
Oh, no. This seems like Sohill wrote this. Are you solid
estate.
man at Sohill?
that one place.
a market for people to make money off people that want a place to live. One of the things we learned from text from last night was an Alaskan pipeline. Now, do you know what an Alaskan pipeline is?
I do not. Please explain it to me.
Well, it's not good. Maybe we could
I
bring
heard
it
of
up.
this one called the Dirty Sanchez. He was telling me about it the other day, but could you explain that?
What?
Or strawberry
That's
shortcake.
racist.
Is it racist?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Well,
I haven't heard
No,
of
I'm
either.
just.
I haven't heard of either of those.
Well, they're both not good. But the Alaskan pipeline, oh, man. Here it goes.
No,
saw
go
it.
ahead, Corey. Go ahead.
Okay. You're not going to bring it up? You're going to make me
Nope.
explain this one off the cuff. So an Alaskan pipeline is where you shit in a condom,
Oh.
freeze it, and use it for a dildo.
That's disturbing. At
Now-
almost every level.
Hold on. So on face value, when you hear that, it's really funny. It's like, you know what I mean? You text your friends, you ask, you bring it up in mixed company. So you're talking to girls, like, oh, I bet you want an Alaskan pipeline. But then there's always one critical thinker. One. You know who that was? Guess who our critical thinker was?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't know who out of our group of friends would call out the absurdity?
Ball dog.
He's like, how do you shit in a condom?
I had that exact same line of reasoning whenever I heard about it.
I was
how do you
like-
get it in there.
And I was like, oh, man. And he goes, there's no way that's happening. You're having to...
Like hand
means-
packet?
you're
This is a
having-
2-man operation at least.
It's like, it's just not possible. He's like, physically, somebody's having to touch a turd. And I'm like, oh, man. It's kind of crazy. That got to freeze it. It's the cold.
I was thinking about some other stuff.
What was the
What are
other
you
one that
thinking
you
about?
said?
I was thinking the one that you kept explaining this thing. You were like, but I don't know what it's called. It's me and my buddies, and we were like, oh, that's docking. And
I don't.
We don't know what this is, Spoon.
you'll have to look it up.
I'm not gonna look it up. I feel like if I look it up, my computer will die of AIDS. This is a weird convo to jump to from Braxton's parents supporting him to whatever Spoon's talking about.
I didn't bring that up. You brought up the Alaska pipeline.
You brought up docking.
Yeah, after the Alaska pipeline.
We brought up Urban Dictionary. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah,
There it is. Space station docking. Perfect.
that's perfect. I like it. That's interesting.
How did they do that? That's interesting.
Have you ever watched The Perfect Storm?
No.
Well, okay, go
It's
watch
a boat, right? And
Have
a
you
bunch of
seen it?
water.
it. It's kind of crazy. What made me think of that was in a hurricane, they attempted to fuel a helicopter with a plane in the air. In a hurricane, Coast Guard.
That,
I mean,
feel like those
apparently
two
it's based on a
vehicles
true
move
story.
it.
What was it, like an AWAC that was out there just watching the hurricane? What was it?
No, they were doing rescues.
Mm.
The Perfect Storm, based loosely on what they think happened to these fishermen. They never found the boat or whatever.
That was the one with like George Clooney, right? The boat, like up the wall.
Mark Wahlberg, George Clooney. I can't remember who else. But either way, when I went and read to see how close it was to the true story, they tried to fuel up a plane, fuel up a helicopter, a rescue helicopter in the air with a plane, and crashed the rescue helicopter.
Into the hurricane? Or
They were in a
water?
hurricane when they were doing it. I
Oh,
was like,
shit.
"What? How in the hell?" At night, of all things. So it was
Well, I
kind
know
of.
how they.
So
I mean, you see the booms on the Blackhawks and stuff that stick out the front where they do that. I think that's where they refuel out of.
that's what this is.
it just seems like they move at such different speeds that's just impossible.
It did seem like
Probably not on a prop though. They can get those things down pretty slow, I would think.
in a hurricane.
Yeah, I mean, I mean,
with
there's
the
a lot of
weight-
stuff I don't know there. I ain't a pilot. There's the Blackhawk.
And there's the that's what. Now imagine doing that in a hurricane, because that's a fuel line. Oh, that looks like me in the morning.
Docking.
Yeah,
Yeah. My old boss, Colonel Matthews, flew those.
that's a good shot. It wouldn't have took me that long though.
You already been in there?
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, no.
whoa,
That's a-
whoa,
like, what
whoa!
happens
That was
when-
aggressive. That was aggressive.
That'll all go south if that
Oh,
line gets
man.
caught.
Yeah, so that was the scene out of the movie. They were trying to fuel it up in a hurricane with an apparatus that looked like that. So now this makes sense. This makes a lot of sense. Just chasing it down, it's just hanging out the back. So,
Now we know.
Braxton, what are you working on this week? What are some good life goals? Are you looking forward to Thanksgiving? Am I invited to Thanksgiving?
You're always invited to Thanksgiving.
What is it? Grandma's house? Uncle Mike going to be there?
I don't know. I don't know where he's gonna be.
Is it?
He don't ever really come to Thanksgivings.
Well, he's entertaining. He's got guests.
Thanksgiving's bigger on my dad's side.
Your dad's side.
Yep. Run around College Station.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So y'all go to College Station for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
What about Aunt Linda? What did she do? Did she come down to College Station?
No, she'll tell. We'll then go back to Grandma's, typically just for a little bit or whatever. Aunt Linda might swing by then.
Ooh.
She has before. It's kind of whatever, man.
What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
Check it all out.
They are coordinating it right now. I don't know which date they're going to do it on. Things change, so our family comes over, we eat. That's it.
What time do you want us to be there?
Yeah.
As soon as I know when they're doing it, I'll let you know. Because my wife and every other lady in our family were on a group text trying to figure that out yesterday.
Is that the same group text? Whoa, I almost slipped up.
Yeah, I don't know what your joke is because it wasn't very good.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a group text. When we were fishing, we were down in Rockport. I think there was a dust up in the women group text.
That was a different group text, but the same group of women. There's always a dust up in that. I mean, it's like
Over
3 different sides of the family. Because like my dad had 2 brothers, so all their wives and their daughters and kids all have their own families now, so they're all trying to figure it out.
Jason, can you angle that mic? Like, yep.
Oh,
no.
how'd it go? Is that better?
That's good.
so
Went limp again.
Tends to do
You
that.
can pull it down a little bit.
How old are you?
Yeah.
44.
Yeah, that makes sense.
you start having that. I'm getting a lot of ads on my Facebook news feed for the ED pills.
Yeah, I don't need any of that. I might need hair loss pills, but I don't need any of that yet.
All right, well, we'll take your word for it. Back to the group message of your family Thanksgiving. So we'll know when they know. And
Yeah.
then we'll be able to come make a plate.
Sure.
Do we need to bring our kids
Look, I've invited you every year since I've known you, and you've never once taken me up on it.
on Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
I don't know my Thanksgivings are all kind of the same. I don't really, there's not a lot going on in my life. A few Thanksgivings ago, one of our trailer parks made the news because there was a baby murdered in there.
That was pretty terrible.
Was pretty terrible, but that happened on Thanksgiving. Like they were like, people were sending me pictures of it, not of the news being there, not of the murder. But anyways,
Work order?
didn't get a work order.
No.
It was
We found out third hand.
find out third hand. It was very, very, very strange. Now we did get a work order when the same trailer park guy committed suicide. We got a work
No,
order
that
for
was
that.
a different dude. 2 trailers over.
It was number 1 and number 5 was. But no, the dude committed suicide. The trailer next door just submitted a work order like, hey, I don't know if anybody's told y'all, but there's a dead guy in the yard. We're like, and y'all, I mean, I don't read a lot, but I do check my email because my email tips me off on everything else. Like I check Teams, my notifications on Teams. I scroll Teams early in the morning, but I'm always checking my emails, and so I see those work orders that come in, and any of them that come in at night, I automatically open them up because it's typically something that can't wait till morning. So, anyways, That one came in like 11 o'clock at night. I opened it up. I was like, what in the holy hell is going on?
Who do you call?
I called that tenant. I was like, is this, like, no, the police are here. They pulled him out. He's on a gurney. Like, all right, that's cool. And so, anyways, I was like, well, we had the original work order made it sound like somebody's just like anybody.
There's a
just
body. Someone should come
laying in
pick
the
it up.
ground. Yeah, you know what I mean? But anyways, that wasn't the case. And at that time we didn't know, or I didn't know, that it was a suicide. So you could automatically assume it's natural causes. I didn't think anything was wrong because we figured the police would reach out to us. It wasn't until the next day when we called the police to find out, hey, we're the owners of this. What's going on? And they're like, well, it wasn't a homicide, but it wasn't a natural causes. And so then we started looking for his family that he didn't have. Redid our whole lease after that because we could not find this guy's family, and the state of Texas process for removing a deceased person's stuff is just too long. So we redid our lease and now have a firm. This is what happens, which is the lady in Comanche. Do you remember that?
Is that the bird lady?
No, I don't think she
The deaf
passed away
bird
in
lady?
I think she went to hospice. But there was a guy, blind guy, and we talked to the police. I really do believe. I can't help but believe that lady was involved because there's a blind guy that lived in our apartment complex when the big freeze happened, Snowmageddon. We met him because he was left behind by his caretaker. Now, she was his caretaker as far as we knew, you know what I mean, until I was introduced, but she was not an official caretaker. She was just some chick that was using him.
Free place to live.
Free place to live, had his Social Security benefits, all of this. So his rent gets paid early. So his rent gets paid early, and then we find out he's deceased. He never paid rent early, and he's blind. So he would mail in a money order, and for the first time ever, he paid online, and then the next day, we get a call from her that he died, and we're like, what? All right.
It seems suspicious.
It was super
Like he was
suspicious.
suddenly able to download an app
and pay his rent online, and then we find out that he's deceased. And so, anyways, we reached out to her, and she's like, yeah, I was, I'm to take over this and blah, 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 blah. And we're like, no, lady. You have, your name's not listed anywhere on this lease. So we reached out to his daughters, and they're like, what? We're like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. He's not.
Did they know about the lady living with him?
Yeah, and they had their suspicions too, because it was just a weird deal all the way around. But I mean, the police didn't even let his next of kin. They didn't even let his daughters know.
Well, but I mean, they never let us know when any of those other things happened either. Like I think people would expect that to happen when they're landlords, and they don't.
No, I'm saying the police did not call his daughters
Right.
and tell them
Like
that
your
he was
dad's passed.
deceased. So we were the ones that broke the news to them because they were the ones that were on his lease. So we called them, and they started fighting with her. Had to get the police over there. We had to criminally trespass her. She's trying to show that she lived there and all this. And his rent was paid up. I mean, he paid a month in advance. You get what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we had to refund the family the money. It was just a big mess. But long story short, because we had it in lease, we had a very clear, and it's kind of a brutal thing. Like, I mean, we're like a week. You got a week to get their belongings out, and then we take them out and we store them for 60 days, and that's it. So, I mean, imagine you finding out, someone is deceased, and then you got a week to get their stuff out. You'd be pretty
Pissed.
offended by it, but
Yeah.
that's just the process.
But a lot of that's also displaced anger.
Not really. I mean, the reason why we did it for a week with a week is because people come in from way outside of town most of the time, anyways, and it actually helps them stay punctual.
Yeah, no, I get that.
With their responsibilities versus if you give them a month or, you know what I mean, 2 weeks or whatever, then they'll say, oh, we'll come back and do it. I mean, these people, they showed up, got all of his things, and, you know, left the keys for us, and that was it. And we had possession of it back, and we cleaned it up and rented it out. So, I don't know, Spoonie. It seemed a little cruel, but
I think most of the anger that happens around a death is all I'm saying is it's misdirected. Like, you need somebody to be mad at. I understand why we had to do it business-wise because we've encountered it multiple times.
do you remember your Stephenville tenant?
Which one? The cougar?
Yeah. What happened there?
Well, the word we got was he got ate by a cougar.
What really happened?
I don't think we ever got it down. They thought there was foul play in it, but I don't know that we got anything past that. I mean,
Spoonie don't want to tell the whole story.
I don't remember any more than that.
Oh. So, makes the news, the national news,
Yeah.
that
Cougar
a mountain
death.
lion eats a guy.
In Eastland, Texas or something. It wasn't even, like, it was just somewhere random.
It was Toller.
Okay, told her.
So,
Big deal.
yeah. Toller's south of Granbury.
Okay.
It's between Stephenville and Granbury.
Okay.
So, it makes national news that homie gets ate by a mountain lion. Then it gets debunked. They say they think it was a pack of dogs. Okay. It's just this random thing. Then our little rental over in Stephenville doesn't pay rent, right? And so rent's not paid. We're trying to collect, and the girl's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. You know, my husband, boyfriend, whatever he was, got ate by a mountain lion." And we're like, "What?" We're like, "Oh shit!" And then we go look, and sure enough, the guy that got ate by a mountain lion was on our lease, and could no longer pay rent. So she lost the breadwinner. I think they did suspect it was foul play, but again, we ended up having to evict that lady. Now, who moved in next, Spoon?
Oh, I don't remember. It was the kids that I had to go fix a floor for.
It was the gay McDonald's workers.
At that one? No, that was at the other one. That was on Elm.
This one was at Elm.
Okay.
No,
I thought he was at Bucknell.
no, this
Oh,
was
okay.
this was Elm.
Yeah, yeah. They were not happy with me the last time I met them
Why?
because they were complaining about not having heat, and I showed up in the middle of the night. I drove down there. I went and bought heaters immediately because we were so cold, and showed up, and they're like, "Yeah, we just ain't turning on the heat here. We're not doing that." They didn't even turn on the gas. They hadn't even gotten around to it, or they were mad because city wouldn't do it in the middle of the night.
How long did you stay?
Yeah.
6-7 hours. It's fine.
They
No,
were-
they were not.
Till morning.
They were ladies, so they weren't into me.
No, I thought it was. Oh, they were. Anyways, I thought
Yeah.
they were guys the whole time. But anyways, they were anti gas. Not.
Yeah, they weren't having it. Like, and
like-
I just thought, like, oh, this wasn't a life choice. I as a real estate investor owe you this heat tonight. I left my family, went and bought heaters, and I'm there. And they're like, thanks, and just slammed the door in my face.
But they were anti-gas, like anti,
So the choice to not turn on the heater.
100% choice.
like bad for the planet.
Like,
Natural gas is bad for the planet, so we're not going to use it.
that house had a gas stove in it. Like, I don't even know how they were cooking.
So then they got mad at us because they said it wasn't disclosed, all the natural gas appliances in there, and we're like, y'all can just move out. We're okay. You know what I mean? Like, just like, I don't have the ability to fight and argue with you about it. And anyway, so they moved out, and I thought it went guy that died, gay dudes, and then lesbians, but it went guy that died, lesbians, then gay dudes.
Maybe there was gay dudes there. I
No,
didn't
gay dudes
meet-
moved in afterwards.
Oh, okay.
And,
Yeah.
and again, the only reason we know so much about this is because this was however many years ago when we were basically doing all this management ourselves and dealing with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like going in and out of their units all the time. And anyways, they hit on Ron.
I wonder what happened if we'd sent Todd down.
Oh, but the fact that they hit on Ron was
Todd would come back. I'm rich.
Ron was like, Todd, how'd you get so much extra money? I don't know. My butt's sore though. Like it's so bad. Oh, but I gotta take off work. I got a real pain in my rear. Speaking of Todd, the other day, the guy that serves lawsuits at our county calls me and he's like, "Hey, I'm out here at your mobile home park. It says Unit 15, but there's no Unit 15." And I'm like, "Okay, well, give me the name."
Please tell me it was Todd.
It was. And so he's like, I'm like, "Give me the name and I'll it's too fucking funny to tell. I'm like, give me the name and I'll see if I can look them up in our database because I don't, they don't have unit numbers. They have street numbers." So anyways, he's like, "It's Todd," and it says his last name. I'm like, "Oh shit." It's like, well, it's going to be the RV. It's like, I know that Todd lives in an RV. I didn't realize that it made it to our mobile home park. So wherever the RV is, he goes, "Well, yeah, there's an RV back there, but there's no vehicles there. There's a broke down red truck." There. And I was like, "Well, yep, he's probably there." He goes, "Oh, by the way, there's some people at the front in a blue car doing some really sketchy stuff."
He's also there.
And I was like, "Oh, never mind. Go to the blue car doing sketchy stuff. That's going to be him." And so I called Brandon. I'm like, "Brandon, what's Todd driving?" He's like, "Johnny's blue car." I was like, called Chris back. I was like, "Yeah, it's the blue sketchy car at the front. Yeah, that's him." He said they were just sitting there,
so
listening to music with the lights on.
That seems like the most Todd thing ever. So, Hill, can you imagine, if you will, I want to paint a picture for the viewers.
You can't paint it.
You can't paint it.
A tiny redneck, tiny redneck.
Giant gun.
Yeah. There's always some weird shit going on. Like, obviously, talks big, talks loud, may or may not have a problem with drugs, substance abuse, possibly meth. I don't know. I'm not a magician. I can't tell you that. Me and DJ are working on moving 400 tires. We're trying to figure out what to do with 400 tires we inherited. We drive by a gas station. I got to get gas. I'd picked him up in my car. So me and DJ, these two giants, in my little bitty car.
Yeah.
We pull up in the gas station and Todd's asleep with his girlfriend at the pump next to us. He's supposed to be out working for Brandon. And we're like, "What the fuck is this?" So I get out and feel him up. I'm like, "Hey, what's up, Todd?" And he comes out and he comes over to me and he goes, like, this was his power move. "Who drives a bitch car like this? Piece of shit." And I'm like, "I do." He's like, "Yeah, it's a bitch car." And I'm like, "I pay your bills." Then he does this weird, like, crawfish out of that conversation. It's like, "I gotta get to work. I'll see y'all later."
Todd's doing a make ready in Comanche, and anyways, something happens with the neighbor, and they pull guns on each other because Todd's got a concealed carry.
Oh, Lord.
But he open carries.
That may be my argument for concealed carry.
So the neighbor comes out and points a weapon at Todd. And Todd points his weapon at him, but somehow they never shoot at one another. And then the police come and take the other guy to jail because he can't have a gun.
Oh, he got lucky.
And they find, I don't know how much money and drugs in this apartment. And this was the craziest thing about it. So this guy rented an apartment. It was over a parking space. Todd's doing a make ready. So the guy comes up and pulls a gun on Todd. Like, they start talking shit, which Todd made it sound like he was just standing there, and all of a sudden there was a gun pulled on him. And anyways,
I'm sure that's exactly what happened.
So they pointed guns at each other, but then the police had been watching this guy for a while, so they were just looking for any excuse to get inside the apartment. They arrest him, take him to jail, arrest his girlfriend, take her to jail. Like, they take the whole squad to jail. And we, for the first time, got to get inside that apartment. There was no furniture in the apartment. Not a single stick of furniture in the apartment. Nothing. But they found like $20,000 cash, a bunch of drugs, not a stick of furniture. If you're that retarded, you've got a obvious drug operation going on in this apartment. Now, I think they did stay at a different apartment in the complex.
That's even better.
So they stayed. I think they stayed like down in apartment 18, and
They
and
thought
this
they were
was
slick
apartment
too.
15.
They'll never see us walking between these two.
I mean, I don't think anybody noticed, but that wasn't why. That wasn't. Anyways, would you pull a gun on a guy over a parking space?
No, but I mean, I just find that it's. What is the probability that Todd would be at a crime scene while this had happened?
Well, Todd
just
ended up.
randomly there. Just
He
throw his hog leg out.
Well, he was doing the make ready zone. It was after the.
I got
the
that.
apocalypse.
I'm just like saying all the luck that happens in that.
Well,
Just to be there to get in that argument.
but this guy had already been rude to Ron too.
Oh, okay.
So
'Cause
like Ron and
maybe
him,
that's more probable because I can't imagine Braxton just going out and being like, "Hey, motherfucker, that was my parking spot."
No, the guy walked into the apartment that Todd was doing the make ready on,
Oh, okay. I understand now.
and he's parked in his parking spot and started bitching about the parking spot. Todd probably bowed up like a
Yeah.
dumb redneck,
Just pulls a hog leg.
and then the guy pulls a gun, but nobody shoots anybody, and then that guy gets to go to jail, and is probably still in jail because I mean they found an absurd amount of drugs, and cash. So he was running this whole operation out there, which then led us to evicting the people in 18 too. So we had this whole, they had like a little thing there, and then
Yeah.
it was an event like that. We buy some apartments that, and the worst part about the whole deal, guess who always paid their rent on time?
Those people.
The drug dealers. They never are late.
When I lived in Stephenville, these kids moved in next door to us, and they brought it. You could see them bringing in all their bongs, like under blankets, like you don't know what that is, a 4-foot bong. And they were the best neighbors I ever had. They mowed their yard on time. They kept the place clean. Like they were quiet as shit.
Did you go smoke weed with them?
I did not,
Why?
because they were selling it out of that house. I tried to not be part of that.
Didn't you smoke weed then?
Yes,
Why didn't you go buy weed from your neighbors? What?
I didn't want to have any part of whatever.
He
that
hates
was.
small businesses.
He-
He'd only ever buy
Exactly.
from corporate.
You
weed
don't need to be
dealers.
tied into that.
Hold on.
No, I didn't at that time. I don't think.
You didn't smoke weed. Okay, now this
I'm just
makes
being
more
silly.
sense.
No, but they were really good neighbors. There was always traffic in and out. Somebody goes to the front door, walk in, 2 minutes, come out. But they were the cleanest, quietest house on the block.
Braxton, you don't have any drug dealers in your apartment complex.
Not that I know of.
People definitely smoke weed there.
For sure.
I smell it.
Yeah.
Friday nights.
Do you know what it
just in the
smells
air.
like?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Being serious. He might not have ever been around it.
What? His generation? You think his
That's
generation
more
hasn't
plausible.
been around weed?
Dude, the ones that Shane had over in was that Ennis? Those things, all of them smelled like it.
The ones.
The 8-plex.
There you go.
I love your communication, Spoonie.
I'm working on it.
You said you made the ones when you said the ones that Shane had. We were talking about weed, not tenants.
I was just saying the apartment smelled like it there too.
I understand that we're the ones are the apartments now, but when you said it, I thought you meant the ones were the weed. Like Shane, the ones
no,
that
no.
Shane had a few good bowls of weed with
That
him.
would have been nice.
But no, but those 8-plex, that's pretty rough. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Braxton's apartments are nice, but I can't remember where I was. I was leaving the grocery store in Grosbeck yesterday, and it was thick with weed. Somebody was just like, I had to have been just smoking weed,
Right there in the parking lot.
or parked at the front to pick up grandma or something, and when they opened the door, it just came. I was like,
What if his grandma, just some lady you've known your whole life,
Yeah,
just a
no,
little old
that's-
lady falls out?
that's how. I mean, I don't think.
Been hot boxing.
I think everybody
Blown
smokes
out.
weed. I think everybody smokes weed. I don't have any real issue with it. I won't smoke weed. It seems make you really unproductive and
Thought everybody does it.
unproductive. Huh?
Thought you just said everybody does it.
I mean, I think he's
A lot
like
of people
making. I'm talking about all demographics. Like he's making it seem like a grandma would be the last person to smoke weed. When I'm like, that's first on my list.
I was just saying you assumed that she was getting picked up. I'm saying she might have been the weed smoker.
No, I don't know where the weed came from. I assume that
This is gonna be a great outtake. I don't know where the weed came from.
I just assumed the weed. Whoever was smoking the weed wasn't there no more.
Right.
But somebody had dropped a cloud in front of the grocery store.
Just open the doors
and fucking it was there. I mean, it knew it, and I was like, man, the Groesbeck cops don't play this. Like they would definitely pull you over. You know, they might not give you a ticket, they might not mess with you, but you
I feel
definitely they're gonna pull you over. So Braxton, your generation, he thinks you don't know what weed smells like.
I don't know.
Where were you when you smelled weed?
The Bourbon Street.
So he's like 10.
Yeah,
Did somebody have to explain that to you,
I think so.
or did you just put it all together?
I don't think I put it together at that point. I'm sure I was told, but that was the first time I remember smelling it.
Had a bonfire last night.
Little weed
Biggins,
smell?
huh?
Little weed smell?
No, just mattress.
just
burnt.
bricks of it.
But Biggins knew it was a fire.
Is it hot?
No, he was just saying fire. He was pointing at it saying fire. I was like, when bro ain't never been around a fire. This is his first experience with fire. I feel like I should have to tell
that you
him.
know of. He might be out there starting them.
I feel like I should have to tell my 2-year-old son that's a fire. But he's telling me like fire. That picture I took of him pointing, he was yelling fire. How does a 2-year-old learn what fire is?
Cartoons.
Cartoons?
Yeah, something he's seen on TV, I'm sure.
You think?
Probably. I mean, where else would he have gotten it?
I don't
I
know.
doubt he's watching Game of Thrones. I'm sure it was like a TV show, a kid show. It's
That-
amazing what they pick up on those.
That explains fire?
Just saying. Could be, I don't know.
It's a little different. I was like, man, this is hard. Didn't you have to go at 2? Oh, that clock's probably wrong.
Yeah.
It hadn't been changed.
Oh yeah, it's 1:39.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. Spoonie, what are we gonna do this week? We gonna get anything done? You gonna get us a couple of septics installed?
Not only am I going to get septic installed, I'm going to get a contract, owner finance contract.
Hey, look. Don't lie.
There's nothing to lie about.
What?
I'm going to make it happen.
How?
You know,
You
you
sure?
can't just try.
I don't think so.
Maybe
I
you'll
mean,
be wrong.
I got faith in you. I got ultimate faith in you. I think you can get a contract if you want to get a contract. I don't know. I don't know if you do it. I don't know if you ever focus in on it. I think you'll have to feel the pain of buying my waffles, ice cream, 3 appetizers, and Biggie's chicken nuggets, and then you'll be like,
That's a weird list of things to get at a steakhouse.
I mean, we're not going to steakhouse. We're not. Where are we going? Are we going to Diamondbacks? We're
You
going
said
to-
fancy dinner. Where we going to the
Yeah.
Waffle House?
I
Like
mean, we
that's
can't. We're not going to go to.
Pretty fancy.
Not going to go to like Whataburger. You know, we're going to go someplace. Go someplace.
the Bonanza.
that,
Olive Garden. You know, something high class.
Oh my God.
Remember we went there last time, what? Just because he said, oh, it's no one goes there anymore.
Yeah.
Who?
I
did
did.
he say
I
that?
made that just random ass statement. You're like, we're going right now. And we went. And then you peppered the waitress with questions about Olive Garden's business model,
That's awesome.
which is typical.
It was just-
Typical. No, he always
I felt
peppers the
so
waitress
sick.
with questions.
Oh, yeah.
It's just what's the subject of the day going to be?
Brenton messed up our last trip out. How can we say
Does
it?
she ever assume that or he, whoever your waitress is, that
Wait
they're
a-
your sons?
Way to assume gender.
Sometimes he just says that. Sometimes he says,
These are my two
like, that's
kids,
one of his opening lines.
two different
Yeah.
mamas.
Got my 2 sons here. One of them's gay. Can you guess which one?
I did say that.
They don't like that one.
They hate
They
that
know
one.
that's a trap.
They hate that one. That they hate that one. I was actually we're out with my 3 sons because Biggins is also there. And so, they never guessed the 2-year-old magically enough. So
When we were out with, it was Corey, me, Ryan, and Margot. I wonder what they thought that dynamic was.
oh yeah, they thought she was being sex trafficked. Like this, blink if you're okay. But so for real, pull up. Can we find Dispo bitch on the? Where can we find a picture of Renton?
I mean, we get an investor lift.
Dude, when I was talking to
it wouldn't take long to find it.
I was talking to the people at Investor Lift the other day, and they just happened to be looking at our account. They're like, "Oh, dispo bitch, that's nice. We really like that." Like, yeah, that's a little bit of hazing. He's
So he'll see if
Hazing? Whoa.
not the good.
if you want to go to investorlift.com, I can text you a login,
Okay.
and if you'd also put up your phone number,
Do what?
Yes.
we could pull it up.
What you need to do is you could just go to Investor Lift on your phone right now and take that screenshot and send it to him,
Okay.
or save that picture. Did you take that picture on your phone?
I think it was his.
Does he not have social media?
Brenton?
Yeah, Snapchat him and tell him to send you a picture. Send a selfie. Say, hey, send a selfie. We need it for the podcast. But anyway, so we go to eat at Roadhouse, Spoonie. It's me, Braxton, Brenton, Eaton, and we have a nice.
Now, is this the Texas Roadhouse or the
how old
other
was
Roadhouse?
she? How did she say her age? Like, not older than 21.
Okay.
Definitely younger than 21.
And did you make it awkward?
African American waitress, smoking hot. Okay. And, anyways, Brenton is brought up. I don't know why he brought up Tinder, but he brought up Tinder. Was he just randomly talking to it?
No, he was on there, and I brought it up. Like, I was like, "What you doing over there?" You know.
So he brought up Tinder.
So he was on Tinder.
He's
swiping.
on Tinder messing around and brought it up. And so I started joking around with him about it, and I was like, you know, problem with Tinder is, you know, y'all don't know how to talk to girls. Like, you don't know how to say hello to a lady.
They're just swiping,
Yeah.
hoping some sticks.
And so then he's like, look, it don't matter anyways on Tinder because nobody ever swipes on me. I was like, oh, man, that's rough.
Damn.
That's so rough.
It's one of the things Andrew Tate talks about all the
I
time.
just texted
What?
you the picture to your email.
Just like those dating sites are just like high value male targets. Like a lot of the normies just don't get swiped at. It's like 90% of dudes.
Well, I told him he's running it wrong. Like, if you're on that, like, you better just swipe on every single thing
There he is.
because
Yeah.
otherwise it's all hypothetical.
Just got to run the numbers too. If he got on there in a set of overalls, like holding some weird
Hey,
stuff,
look at
like
it.
just he needs to play up the weirdness of him. Like,
Where does he live?
Waco
Waco.
now.
Okay.
So he
Jesus, that's a terrible
What?
picture.
He hates it.
Oh my god,
Does he have a nose ring?
yes,
Yeah.
it's a Playboy bunny.
which is even weirder.
It is even weirder. Like Playboy has been out of style for my entire life, so I don't know.
Honestly, if he moved to like either Brooklyn or Santa Monica or something, he'd be chilling.
He doesn't look that like that. The picture really does look
It does
pretty.
make it-
It's
Yeah,
a
he
bad
does,
picture.
He does look like you would find
hold
him
on.
in Greenwich
So
Village.
so our nice waitress comes walking up, and in this time period, you know, he's unfigured out. He can't get swiped on, so she walks up, and I was like, "Hey," it's like, if you saw him on Tinder. So first, I think the first time she came up, we were like, "Where are you from?" She's like, "Waco" or whatever, and so she was from
You're
Waco.
asking about Jewett.
Yeah, well, no, that was at the end, but we already knew she was from Waco when she came up for the Tinder conversation. So we already know she's Waco. She's not like, you know what I mean? It's pretty local, not from like Southern California or something like that. It's like going to be weird about everything. But so I asked her, I was like, hey, if you saw him on Tinder, would you swipe on him?
She just broke his heart, huh?
She let him
Tried
down easy.
so hard to be nice. She tried so hard to be nice. She was like, well, you know,
Just kind of depends and like how I'm feeling and like what the bio's like.
Yeah.
you know.
This, and then she just walks off, and I was like, that was the nicest no you ever got. And he's like, that wasn't a no, she said. I was like, that was a no, my guy.
Ah, that sucks that he didn't know it was a no.
He didn't know it was a no, and then she comes back, and we're like talking to her, you know, like about her being single, about him.
She's like, I can't find a nice guy.
Yeah.
And he's like,
and he's just sitting there, and I'm like,
oh, that's rough.
I'm
God,
like,
you guys are assholes.
what are you like? And then she walks off. I'm like, are you just never? He's like, what? I'm like, you're not going to talk to this girl? He's like, I don't know what to say. And I'm like,
Hey,
she literally
Thursday
just,
night, let's go to dinner. 7
Yes.
o'clock. I'll pick you up.
like, hey,
What's your address?
what do you like to eat? Like, hey, what's your Snapchat? Hey, anything. I was like, oh my, I felt so bad. But Braxton, I know that Braxton can't talk to girls, but
Yeah, that's
Brenton,
why I'm not saying anything.
yeah, Brenton talks this big game, like, you know, and I put him on the spot. Girl talking about being single, gave him a polite no on swiping on him, but did say in that he looks better in real life. You know, probably translate better in real life.
Well, because you said like, is it the hair? She's like, no, I don't, that doesn't look bad. Like,
yeah, but
I wonder if
I handed him a layup, like, chance to talk to a girl without it being creepy on his behalf. You
right,
get what I
'cause
mean?
you were the creep.
Because I'm the creep.
Right.
And
And there's also a little bit of sympathy play going on there because she
Yeah.
said, why is he picking on this fucking nice guy?
perfect, yes. Very, he had it, like, if he would have just said hello, but their generation don't know how to talk to women.
But I don't
In
know that
real
girls.
life.
I don't know that girls would respond to that. Like my cousins are all his age. They're a few years older. They're all early 20s, and I'm always asking like, how did y'all meet people? Because I don't think they talk. Everything's text. It's on Snapchat. And when I said, what happens if a dude just walks up to you and asks you for your number? They're like, that's weird. Like that's the only way we knew how to do it. It's like we didn't have all the fucking channels.
Do you think it's weird?
I don't think it's weird.
Do you
Like,
think
if you
girls
have
think it
some,
weird?
I don't. If you have some rapport,
Yeah.
like,
Do you think it's weird if she's working?
I don't
No,
know.
why would I care?
that's what I mean. Like, I feel like
My
that's
wife
some
had a
rapport.
job when
Like,
I
if
met
you've
her.
had some dialogue with her, like, I don't think that is.
Yeah, because it's like the
Are
third trip
you
back.
saying I just want to ask him, are you saying if she's like at work when you're asking her out?
Yeah,
Oh.
like yes, not like if she has a job.
I was like,
If I'm walking
So he
past a
wants his
girl at
women to
Target,
stay
like,
at
I feel
home.
like that's weird.
If you talk to a girl at Target, you feel
If
like
I
it's
just
weird.
walk past a girl at Target and I'm like,
you
ask
you
for
won't
number.
talk to a girl at Target.
I feel like that's weird. Yeah, like,
What?
there's
Weird.
no
That's
chick.
like, dude, at your age, it's Target, Hobby Lobby. Like you could be at Hobby Lobby right now recruiting from all the Baylor girls that got to make some shit for their sorority.
Recruiting
You could
for
just
what?
be over there for
That's-
dates. He could just be over there meeting girls.
Recruiting
You'd
for-
have success at Hobby Lobby. I've gone to Hobby Lobby.
You got to go to where the girls are.
all I'm trying to say is this. He thinks it's weird to talk to a girl at a grocery store.
Yeah, that's
Like-
like the perfect place. It's way less stressful than being at a club where you're like,
Wait.
hey, just yelling in her ear.
Yeah, it's like you know.
I've never done it, so I can't confidently say.
You got to go in awkward. You'd be like, I love cucumbers too.
No,
I mean, obviously, if there's
definitely not. You got-
if there's the rapport, but like sometimes people are just trying to get their shit done and don't care.
Yeah, I feel like they will tell you though at the same time.
Yeah, right.
Like if they don't want to talk to you, they're gonna make that clear.
But what I'm saying is, like, you're at the grocery store. She is shopping for cat food. You're on the cat food aisle. You know exactly what to talk about.
Yeah.
It is right there.
What kind of cat do you have? I love cats.
Yes, like, oh my gosh. I would not feed that kind of food. I would feed this other kind of food.
Oh, dude, I would have never thought about that cat. What made you switch to that brand?
Yeah, like, why are you... That kitty litter I heard is bad for their paws. You really need to go with this other kind over here. It's right there. It's the easiest conversation to start.
Could I ask you some questions? I've been thinking about adopting this cat that I saw at the shelter the other day. Where I don't know what to get for one. Why would you use that food?
Yeah, like
Okay.
I'm actually
I get what you're saying.
I'm actually
you just talk about
only on
whatever's
the
literally right there in front of you.
I'm only on the cat food aisle because I was
He's
gonna
so
go
good
down
at
to
sales, man. How is this not?
I was gonna go down to the
translate.
shelter and pick up one of these cats. I seen a post on Facebook. One of them ain't got no hair. What do you know about that? What do you know about hairless pussies?
Oh, well, I wouldn't start with that. At the grocery store.
Whoa!
But I would wrap that conversation up. Dude, you've been so helpful. Maybe you could go with me. We could go get lunch and you could go with me to look for this cat. Now
Yeah.
you got a cat out of the deal.
But here's-
you
and
want,
then-
but you got a date.
Yeah,
you return the
Gotta
cat.
commit.
Like the shelter take returns.
no, it's just so easy to have that conversation, to start that conversation. It's not hard at all. It's like, oh, Velveeta shells and cheese. Oh yeah, processed
man.
food. My kind of lady.
I love plastic cheese. It's so much better than real cheese.
Yeah, I mean,
But you got to own that. Like,
look, I wouldn't buy Kraft. you know,
Put
guys.
some Hormel chili in
Yeah,
there.
he was
Oof.
paying $20 for hand jobs over there in Florida. Don't support that brand.
I don't understand how any of that just related. Like, I was
Bob
following. I don't understand what just got discussed. The last 30 seconds, I feel like just
You don't know about Kraft? Robert Kraft? The owner of the
coach.
Patriots?
The coach.
No, the owner of the Patriots
the owner,
got
sorry.
caught at a rub and tug place in Florida. So it's like a strip mall rub and tug place. There's a billionaire in there.
Making shit up.
Do what?
yeah. That's what I
Allegedly.
feel like just happened. I was like, well, hold up.
Hold on, what? Y'all are gonna say it didn't happen?
No, I'm not. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
I just
like
don't know the facts.
Sohail, have you heard of it?
No, I thought you were saying just like say something like that.
No,
I knew
no,
what he
no.
was talking about.
No,
the
Google
grocery
Robert
Yeah,
Kraft.
Don't bring that up at the grocery store.
Y'all are talking over everything, but the Robert Kraft had it. It was the most shocking news story to me on planet Earth because I was like, "Fuck!" Even billionaires, when they're 75, can only go to strip mall fucking rub and tug place. There's not an upgrade. It's just the strip mall. It's like rolled in
Either
there.
that or Epstein Island. There's no.
There's no in between. There's no place. There's no highfalutin.
$59.
There's no.
how do they bust those?
How do they
mean,
bust them?
Like, is it fed the whole time?
Have you
don't-
seen the South Park episode about that?
I don't know how they don't bust them. Every time you see one, I mean, they're in every strip mall. If you go to Harry Hines Boulevard right here, which is known for being Harry Hines Boulevard, every single shopping center will have one of those in there, and every single one of them will have the exact same thing. Like, if a girl walks up to one, I was having this conversation with a girl I was dating, and she's like, "No, those don't exist." I'm like, "They totally exist." She's like, "No, it's like a place where you get your nails and feet done." I'm like, "That is not what that is." And if we walk in the front door, you will not be allowed in there. And she's like, "That's impossible." Walks in there, gets totally turned around. I'm like, "They're wearing lingerie." Like, you go into a mud room
I've never been to one of those. So
and
I
a
don't know.
lady walks up to you in lingerie. Yeah, no, they're definitely. I mean, the people that told me about them, I didn't believe them either. So someday you'll have to do your own research.
It doesn't seem real. Like, that just seems weird.
Well, I mean, they're massage parlors. They're definitely giving massages. How you get the extra, I guess, is up to if you got an extra 59 laying around. I mean, that's a crazy price for me.
What's I mean? Like, at what point is like?
That's cheaper than an actual massage. Like an hour massage is like $100.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you just put down extra money?
You put down less money. That says $59.
And this is the I guess that's why what's the quarterback's name for the Texans that just got traded to Cleveland?
You're asking the wrong guy.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know either. Went to Clemson. I do remember that. Don't know his name.
Jeebus. So there's a South Park episode where this cop is out.
Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson had like 30 women accuse him of sexual misconduct because he was getting hand jobs from the masseuses.
That's hilarious. But he's like, seriously, give me a hand job. Like, he was like forcing them, or he got caught. Like, where's the impropriety? If they're just handing them out, like,
Wait, like the ones on staff?
No. Like, he would hire different masseuses, and then so he probably had a big misunderstanding about what a masseuse was, but irrelevant. I don't know
Can
any.
you imagine if you only went to the rub and tugs and you thought that was an actual massage parlor? Then you go to a legitimate one and you're like, and just like a giant muscled up football player. And shit.
That's what I'm
They're in
saying.
good
Like,
faith.
I might give him a hand job. Who knows?
You're there in good faith at that point.
what
That's scary.
Whatever happened with Deshaun Watson, he's paying his debt to society. He got him a little 6-game suspension or whatever it is. He's paying his debt to society. Hadn't played football in a full year. The Cleveland Browns signed him on a fully guaranteed $250 million contract. He hasn't played football in a year. How many of them? Anyways, but here's the crazy part. Somewhere Robert Kraft is sitting going, damn, bro.
Sounds good. I'll be right over.
No, he's going, damn, bro, don't you know you can just go, like, it's right here next to Kroger, and it's like $50. Like, you could have been, yeah, like, I don't know why you went through all this trouble and put your career at risk. You
24 claims.
I feel like if you're that rich, you should just pay money for like an escort because like you don't need all the
but
bad
it's
press.
illegal everywhere.
Yeah, I understand that.
And thing about prostitution is you're not paying for sex. You're
You're
paying
paying them to go away.
paying them to leave.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know. I don't know what these NFL allegations. Everybody loves comparing Deshaun Watson to what happened to Robert Kraft, which I think Robert Kraft pled down to like a parking ticket or something. He just made a donation somewhere.
Donation to the policeman's ball. $2 million.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, and then quit going to the other places.
To the same one.
Yeah, what he's like, yeah, we can't go back to that one. They got a sting operation going on in there.
Well, Deshaun paid $300 for an actual masseuse and then forced her to do it. Robert Kraft paid $59 and it was consensual.
This is true, but
I feel like it was it has to be a misunderstanding. He had to have gone to all the wrong ones before.
I feel like Deshaun Watson just thought a masseuse was something completely different. He's like, no.
Like how would you make that jump? Just going like I've had, I don't know, 10, 15 massages in my life. I've never just assumed that something else was going to happen.
I mean, when you go to the massage places, like you never get the dude.
Yeah, for sure.
They never give you the dude. I feel like if it was a level playing ground, like you would get the dude every once in a while. If I was Deshaun Watson, I really like massages. I guess I would only be hiring dudes from here on out. Now, if the dudes come out with allegations, now we know we got a real problem on our hands.
You got a regular pervert.
I mean, it's not like that hadn't happened before.
Oh, I need
There
to
was
soundbite that.
a high-profile movie star that happened to.
I mean, you go get a massage. I was oh fuck.
That's just, the whole thing's a weird deal to me.
A massage?
No, not just a massage, but
Oh, the rub and tug?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when one of these stories broke, they put a website up, and I was like, y'all have never done anything like the funny part about the media is they're like, oh, let's crush this thing that's happening. You know what I mean? And they put a website up, and I don't remember what it was. It was something like Rub Maps or Rub
Holy shit, that's amazing.
Rub something. Anyways, they put a website up, and of course it got shared on TexAgs, and oh, your safe search is off.
Should I allow my location?
I don't know, but
I can't believe somebody put that together.
anyways, yes. So they put the website up on the news story, the news story, and they're like, angrily shouting at this industry, and then they put the website up on the news story, and I'm like, guys, do you know how many men? Because I was on a forum where men were like, holy shit. There's a place where you can go to figure this out. And all it is a place where they review. Oh, man, we can't put this on YouTube.
Yeah, don't put that on the screen.
Anyways, they just give reviews of the different places you can.
Nutjob.com.
Dude,
We're gonna get so much shit for laughing at this, but
The world is messed up, man.
no, there's a whole website where they just review hookers. I had a friend that did some work out in Vegas. He was doing IT work.
it's like Yelp for hookers.
Basically. He was like, yeah, she wanted to know if I could do this work on this stuff. I'm like, that's your call, dude. I don't know. Whatever your life is.
Well, I mean, Craigslist always had, and then that other
That's all
one.
dead.
That one was the one that old Kraft got.
Talking about back pages.
Is
That's
it?
funny?
Yeah. That's what was in the headline or whatever.
Oh, there he is. He's down there at the bottom. Of
Seems
that news
like
story.
nobody would go to
2.5
that one
stars.
anymore.
It's a 2.5 stars. What a crazy.
All of those are his negative ratings. He's just in there like, fuck this place.
So this whole article on the nut job is a review of rub maps.
That's
Better alternatives to using rub.
dude. And there's better alternative. No, that's a paid ad. That's gonna be this dude.
Look, the guy has it's like a New York Times article. the author.
Who, Frankie? Who?
Moretti.
Let's see if we can get him on the podcast. He seems like he's into some weird stuff. But all of those are nonsense. They're based off of like Instagram and Uber and Facebook and Snapchat.
Yeah, that all seems like scam sites.
No, well, I don't know about scam sites. I'm
sure you pay to get in those, and it's just fake pictures of fake accounts.
Joe Rogan interviewed Dr. Phil the other day, and Dr. Phil was talking about the drug industry on Snapchat.
Mm-hmm. I was with that.
Have you?
I haven't heard anything about that.
We were on Snapchat. Do you ever post to Snap Maps?
No.
I'm
not.
So, do you post to Snap Maps?
No, I'm a ghost on there.
So you don't never actually like post
not my
on
location.
the map?
No.
Okay. So when you post on Snap Maps, people can see where you're at, and the bots are crazy. I mean, they have a crazy amount of bots. It's like all these sugar mama scams where they send you money on Cash App, and then you send them the money back because they sent too much, and then they reverse the charge.
Don't send it back.
Well, then they don't make money, and they reverse the charge anyways.
Oh.
So I mean, one way or another, you know, I guess just a chance they take. I don't know. It's the old Craigslist scam where you're selling something on Craigslist and they mail you a check.
Yeah.
And then they'd be like, "Oh, send me a money order back for the difference. Sorry, we sent too much." And then boom, it hits your bank account. Same scam.
Fake cashier's check. You go deposit it.
But if you ever post on Snap Maps, the other thing that I always thought was a scam was them trying to sell guns and drugs, because it seemed like there was no way possible that they would be legitimately reaching out to strangers offering to buy guns and drugs on the off chance that I'm a cop and, you know what I mean? I might just say, "All right, you offered."
That would happen all the time, though.
What?
The strangers reaching out and legitimate sales.
Yes. Yeah, it is legitimate. So that was the crazy part. So it turns out it is. Like if they offer to sell you a gun or drug, 90% of the time it's going to be a real transaction. So you can go buy an automatic Glock or a drugs or whatever, because Dr. Phil did a whole show on it where people are dying of overdose because they busted a place making had 70 million fake or not fake. That
was enough to kill 70 million, right?
No, 70 million pills. It was 70 million. It was 70 million pills, but it was they weren't fake pills. They were just pharmaceutical type. They look like they came from the pharmacy. They look like on brand pharmaceuticals, but they were not. So had the same effect. Like if they were supposed to be Xanax or whatever other kind of pills they would have the same effect allegedly. But they're being manufactured in Tijuana, right across from San Diego, and they found 70 million pills there. Now, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say they had all the pressings and stuff. Like when you look at one of the pills you get from the doctor and it says a number and in a certain day, they were legit copies is what he was saying.
Yeah, so, and they're selling these on Snapchat. And a girl died taking a quarter of one because it was laced with fentanyl. And I was like, this is crazy to me because I get hit up by those people all the time. I was like, this seems like a real easy problem for the police to go after. Just post a selfie on fucking Snapchat and you'll get hit up 5 times, make an arrangement and show up and take the dude to jail. Like,
pretty effective operation.
Seems like it'd be pretty effective. The other thing, I mean, I don't know what they do about fentanyl. I honestly think y'all want to talk about conspiracy theories. I really do believe that they don't care about the fentanyl outbreak. I don't think the government cares at all about it.
Why?
Because if somebody apparently if you touch fentanyl, it kills you. Like, so if you take it and you die and you're overdose, you know what I mean? What's the alternative for the person that's a drug addict that's out taking drugs? Like a lot of expensive health care and recovery and everything else. It seems like a way simpler problem for the government if you just OD on one pill and they don't no longer have to take care of you.
And I don't know anything about it, but he was saying in his deal, Dr. Phil was saying, like, if you get a good hit of fentanyl and it doesn't kill you, it's like you're instantly hooked. It's like one, I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh, I don't know. I won't never. I mean, this is a conversation we were
Ain't
having.
never going to find out.
I was like, your generation don't, like, I mean, you did some drugs.
No, not me.
I'd done some drugs. Not a lot. Not enough to really matter. You know what I mean? I've never, you know. But I wouldn't touch one.
No way.
Nothing. Like,
there's not a fucking
not
chance
a single thing. It'd be like, what? I could die. No, I'm not gonna do that.
It doesn't seem worth it.
Yeah, like
ditchweed when I grew up ain't what they got now. Like this shit. Like there's too many bonkered things out there.
You're worried about weed?
No, I'm just saying in general. Like it's not like you were worried about like having fentanyl in your shit. Like shit is bonkers now.
Yeah, and so anyways, I don't know what the solution is, but I don't think the government cares that much about it. I think it's like the border crisis. They don't care about the border crisis. They care about the votes it produces on both sides. You know, if they solve the border issue with good sound laws that you know what I mean, we're clear and hired enough people to handle the influx of people that are trying to apply for amnesty or whatever, then there would be nothing for them to argue about anymore, and that would just be terrible for their ability to campaign.
I watched a deal the other day. It was an outtake of a bigger conversation. I can't remember who was interviewing, but it was like a CIA type guy, and his deal was he was saying they know all the fentanyl's coming from China, and they're like they don't want to shut it down because it's sowing discord here. And his whole conspiracy was that it's an intentional act from the Chinese government to not shut them down to fuck with the U.S.
Oh yeah, but I don't. I mean, like who does that? The bad thing about it is like so. I don't have kids Braxton's age yet, but when I do, I'll have sleepless nights where I'm worried. You know, but not as much in Groesbeck, Texas. But if you're living here in Dallas, your kids are out doing kid things, going to parties, hanging out. You know what I mean? You got to be sick. You got to be worried sick that, you know, they're going to die taking one pill, you know, of fentanyl.
I bet they talk with my 10-year-old already.
Yeah, but the other people that it affects is who? People that already use drugs. Like the people that are already out there using, you know, they're the ones. They're the most impacted. I think they said there was more fentanyl overdoses this year than people died in car crashes.
So it was the #1 killer nationwide of whatever it is, like 19 to 42.
Yes.
Crazy. Like I don't know, and you can tell me this because you've got kids that are approximately the same age as mine. When my kids ask me about drugs, I'll tell them about my experiences, like in the sense that I'm not going to hide that stuff happened, but I can't imagine. I cannot fathom wanting to try drugs in this.
I just tell my kids the same thing. Every single time I see a homeless person on the side of the street, and we're sitting there, and they're out there just tweaking it up, I ask Emery, hey, what do you think makes somebody homeless? And she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, drugs. And that's it. It's just a hypothesis. Could be alcohol. I don't know. But I just assume we offered a homeless dude a job cleaning out houses. And he said, what does it pay? And I said, we'll pay $100. And he said, no, I'll just stand here. That tells me that in 2 hours or 2.5 hours, his earnings are greater than $100 because that's what it would have took for us to clean out a house. Standing there, staring at you long enough that you give him money. Because there's no amount of time he can stare at me that I'm going to give him money. We can have a staring contest all day long. It ain't going to end with my wallet opening. You better entertain me, wash my windshield, do something funny. You know what I mean? You better be talking
Do
shit.
something funny.
If you want my money, you gotta have to earn it. You ain't just gonna stand there and sad me into giving you some money.
What if they try and they fail? Like they're not funny.
That'll work. Just try something. Don't just stand there and think you're gonna one-legged stand there and stare at me and make me feel bad for you. You can hop your ass in this passenger seat and we'll go clean out a house. You'll have a real easy. Is it hard to clean out a house?
Mm-mm.
Could you do it one-legged?
Yeah, just take longer.
I mean, you wouldn't have to do the bulk of it, but there's a
There's plenty
position
of stuff that
for
you
you.
can-
Yeah.
yes.
Just bag this stuff up right here. When you
can
get a
sit down and
bag full,
stuff.
yeah, call me. I'll tear it to the truck. But you ain't gonna sad me into it. Now I know Spoonie's got one of those liberal hearts that just hurts when he sees that little homeless, smelly fucking drug addict staring at him. He's gonna give him some money. Ain't my deal. I do give a lot of money to homeless people though. A lot of money to homeless people. Well, you weren't there whenever no, you weren't with us. Well, I was with Collie, and we gave $100 to a lady for her niece's something or another, and he's like, "Do you think it's a lie?" And I was like, "It's a good one. It got me. It's a good lie. They got my $100." But yeah, no, you ain't gonna sad me into it. I'm just looking miserable.
Well, just doing the math, if $100 for 2 hours, that's $50 an hour, right? So they're making more than $50 an hour. Hey, your logic, they're probably after the cut of $59 an hour or a half hour giving handies. They're probably making more money than the people giving handies in those parlors.
Yeah, maybe. But the sad part in Waco, in Braxton can vouch for this. They have to have a place, designated areas that they allow them to be. And they must take them to jail if they get outside of those areas.
I wonder what the percentage is of people that over the past few years, because homelessness has obviously gone up. Like just empirically, you see more homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what the actual percentage is of people that have mental health issues that are or also not derived from drugs that have been put on the streets because of all the closures of
Mental hospitals?
A
shitload.
It's got to be. But nobody knows the numbers.
A shitload. The mental hospitals also cruel existence. Hard to manage, hard to operate.
So what's the solution?
Well, the mental hospital is a solution. They shut them down. At least in Texas, I don't know about the rest of the places. They shut them down pretty hard. A lot of people don't have a place to go. A lot of families can't. I mean, eventually you just get tired of somebody's shit. You know what I mean? Like if I'm batshit crazy and I'm doing batshit crazy things and you write me off, you know what I mean? Release me to the streets. That's not on you. It's on me. But I think that all the homeless programs are just wild because I have a lot of respect for some of the homeless people I see. The homie that cleaned up his space that's down there living underneath that bridge in San Marcos, just ruling his kingdom down there. He carried bags of trash out from underneath the bridge and threw it in the dumpster at Walmart and then walked back underneath the bridge. I was like, bro's just down there keeping his area clean.
We see those dudes that build like nice ass houses,
There's one in Granbury, right behind the steakhouse you love so much.
Oh, off in the woods?
He's got a little deal built there. He drives a van.
I just showed my wife one yesterday that we were waiting at the train. Dude, there's some area in the woods back here in Cleveland where some dudes just live back there that nobody knows about.
But I have mad respect for those dudes that life, like
it's almost like the hobo lifestyle, the old
dude. It's like think about how gangster it is. Think about how stress free it is.
Nothing tying you down. No job to go to.
Just I got this 40. I got enough money for a 40 and some Whataburger.
I'm Jason. You've watched the Different Generations podcast with me, two other fellows.